All right, hey guys. It's been a little while since I shot a video, but it came to my attention that on the Jefferson County Board of Education's agenda for their meeting tomorrow, that's Monday the 25th, they are going to be voting on the approval of a monitoring agreement with Environmental Resources Management, Inc., ERM. And basically what this means is ERM is an organization that has been doing a lot of Rockwool's kind of science work. All of their reports on sort of emissions, impact that they have presented and used thus far has come from ERM. And so Rockwool has offered to pay for ERM to install air monitoring stations on two elementary schools. It's T.A. Lowery and North Jefferson, which are the two public schools closest to Rockwool's site. And so air monitors, that's great. We've been saying for a while that we need air monitors on schools to determine if Rockwool's plant goes into operation, what the impact is on air quality and whether there's any potential for kind of risk to students at school within a 2-mile radius of that site. And so, on the surface, air monitors are a really excellent thing. I think the concern here is that we have a situation where this is not the school board paying for these monitors. This is not an independent entity coming in. What we have here is Rockwool is paying for their own company, essentially, to come in and install and track these monitors on these two schools. And so I think that really, while it's appealing to the Board of Education because, they're not having to pay for the monitors and they can kind of check that box of saying, okay, we've done our due diligence, the concern for the public here is that you kind of have a situation that looks like the fox guarding the hen house. You have Rockwool paying to put in the monitors, being in charge, essentially having the organization they chose be in charge of reporting that information to the public. And so there's some questions that raises about, is this really independent monitoring? Can we trust this information? Now, ERM is a large national firm. They have a lot of really smart people. I'm not saying that their science is bad, but what we've seen from going through a lot of Rockwool's documents and presentations and kind of the science they've presented is that there's been a bit of a trend of some sort of misrepresentations or molding of data to advance a certain narrative is what it's appeared like. And so I think there's concerns, if we can't really trust the way Rockwool has presented their emissions or their impact data to us over the course of the last year, do we trust that when they're hiring this firm, when they're paying out of their own pocket for this monitoring, does the public feel that they can trust this data? I think the other concern is, there's kind of this rush to get these monitors in so that we can establish a baseline for monitoring. But the reality is, the ship has a little bit sailed on having an accurate baseline because they've already been churning up dirt, putting a lot of particulate matter into the air there for months. So it's going to be impossible to establish a real baseline. Definitely we need to get these monitors in there before the plant becomes operational. So certainly as soon as possible is great for that. I think my other concern from looking through this monitoring agreement is basically it says that the agreement can be terminated at any time ERM wants, and the expiration date is in 2022, at which point Rockwool's plant, if it opens on schedule, will only have been operating for a year or two, and they won't have reached their full build-out, full capacity. So whatever data we get probably isn't going to tell us the actual impact of once they go to full production with all of their lines online. So there's some concerns here in my mind around, the firm that's doing this and who's paying for it. There's some concerns around kind of, is this an accurate baseline? Is this timeline going to be sufficient to really help us understand what's happening? And so my encouragement to you would be to attend the school board meeting tomorrow night. That's Monday the 24th. It's at 7 p.m. And just go and ask the board kind of what this means, why are they approving this, and what can we do to ensure that the public really feels confident that any air monitoring data we get is truly independent, neutral, correct, and in the best interests of the students in Jefferson County. All right, thanks y'all. Have a good one.